Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl Tadria, and welcome to another episode of The Sisters. And here we are serving injured souls to encourage, rejuvenate, and strengthen your spiritual healing, one seed, one question, and one conversation at a time. As always, you already know I'm one sister, Tadria. We are joined by the other sister, Tad.
Hello, everybody.
And as always, you know we got a kicker for you guys today. We have a husband and wife duo. So, guys, welcome the Stewarts.
Yay. Hey, everybody.
Woo!
And guess what, y'all? We are talking about marriage today. So they are going to kick right in and then help us understand why they got married. So our topic today is, why did I get married? So one of you, whoever chooses to catch this ball, tell us, why did you get married?
Go ahead, Stewart.
Oh, you chose me first. Hey,
Yeah.
hey, great question. I was at dinner a couple of weeks ago with a friend of mine, and we were talking marriage, and he is on the headed towards divorce. So we was just kind of processing that. So he had posed a question to me: what made me decide to marry Tiffany? And I seen a quote from Denzel Washington that talked about a woman being a peace of mind. It wasn't the material things she had. It wasn't her social or economical status, but it was that peace of mind that she gave him that makes a man want to marry a woman, and that's what registered with me. Um, when I met Tiffany, there was such a peace that I felt when we were together that I did not have to pretend that being Edward was enough, that I didn't have to create a facade. I didn't have to make believe I was anyone else but Ed, and she was comfortable enough and accepted me for who I was, and that was the peace that I needed. Uh, that no matter what my flaws were, she was okay with that. With my strengths, she embraced them and nurtured them, and that was the great peace that made me decide this is the one I want to be with.
Okay, ladies, you heard it straight from a man. You got to be his piece, because if you a hellraiser, he going to keep it moving. Come on, Tiff, what you got?
For me, I believe it was his ability to make me feel safe. Um, when I say make me feel safe in every aspect of our relationship, he made me safe. I was safe with him with my children. I was safe with him emotionally. I was safe with him financially. When I met him, I was in a very bad place financially. Um, and that wasn't a deterrent for him. I also had 3 children and in a bad place financially, so that could be a deterrent. But I was he was able to get me to a place where I knew that I could trust him. When somebody be like, I got you, and you'd be like, So for me, even now, and that's what made submission easy for me. So for him, I was his peace, and for me, he was my security. And the security he provided for me was seductive, which made me wanted to submit to him because I was secure. I knew that he had me, and even going into our 23rd year next month, there's no doubt in my mind that this man has me. I never have to worry. If I ain't got it, I don't even worry about it because my husband got it and he's going to take care of it. I don't know if that's necessarily all the time true, but he's never made me feel like he didn't have me. Even if he didn't have it, he must have figured it out, because if he told me I got you, he had me. So for me, it was the
My.
security.
Look at that. So listen, now you brought up 2 key points. So I'm going to hit point number 1 first, but we're going to go back around. We're going to roll it back around. My first question from your key point, you brought up the fact that you had children. So is there a blended family fear when it comes to marriage? And can that be a deal breaker in relationships?
I'll go first this time. Can it be a deal breaker? Absolutely. Please. We met when our kids were 3, 4, 6, and 8. Me bringing the older, him bringing the one younger. And that almost cost us our marriage in the very beginning because our children weren't getting along. They didn't like the change. They didn't like the difference because it was just different. It wasn't the fact that they were being mistreated or they weren't being treated at all, because he took excellent care of my children. It was just the fact that it was different and they didn't like it. They wanted me to be with their dad, not understanding that I was unhappy. But because sometimes, especially as mothers, we live in an unhappy situation for so long, our children begin to think that's normal. So when we go to a place that's not chaotic and peaceful, it's very uncomfortable for them because we've trained them to live in a chaotic train of thought. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Reverend Brother, what you got?
I think because of the peace of mind that Tiffany brought to the table, I felt like no matter what the circumstances were, that we could figure it out and we can work it out. We were talking about that just the other day, that no matter what the challenge was, even before we were married, I just felt like with her, no obstacle was too big, that we could figure out a way to persevere. And we did. I mean, at times it just felt like some of the obstacles were insurmountable, but together we were able to do it. I mean, when you become a blended family, especially at the age we were, that comes with baby and daddy mama drama.
Right.
Together, we presented a unified front, no matter which one it was, whether it was on my end or on her end. We always stood united, and because of that, I knew we would be able to sustain and push forward. And here we are, 23 years later.
Not only are you here 23 years later, but I hear through the grapevine that you are also encouraging other couples, other people, how to be married and how to make marriage work. But before we get to that question,
okay,
Reverend Brother.
Yes, ma'am.
Now I got to ask you this question.
Please do.
How does it feel after 23 years to still hear your wife say it's security, it's seductive? How does that make you feel? Go ahead and pop your collar for the people.
I know you can't see me, but if I could pop my collar in my E40 voice, then I would be popping my collar.
Listen.
It is once again, I'm gonna go back to the friend I was talking to. I would do it all over again if the end result is where I'm at 23 years later.
Absolutely.
I have no regrets.
Wow.
My. Okay.
Boy, I might marry you again tomorrow.
All right. All right.
All right.
I would say that is absolutely true. With the obstacles and the trials, and people have heard one story, but they haven't heard all the stories because it was a turbulent time. But because we chose to be united, because we chose each other and we continue to choose each other every day, it makes it easy to not allow other people in, because I'll forever choose him. So if it's him against the world, it's gonna always be him.
Wow, I love it.
You know what? Don't make me get up and run around.
Oh my God.
Why y'all gotta act up all the time?
That's good.
But that's
it was him
but
against
Sister
the world.
Toddy, that's living out that vow that says forsaking all others.
That's what that means. That's how you shut it down, because that's how you maintain your marriage. Because see, once I marry him, because the Bible talks about, for this cause shall a man leave his father and mother and cling to his wife. Well, how he gonna cling to her if she ain't clinging to him? It's not gonna work. So therefore, she too has to leave her father and mother and cling unto him. Now they are a family. So there is no, when you think of immediate family, people say mother, father, sister, brother. That is not correct. Immediate family is husband, wife, children. That is your immediate family. But as long as you're thinking immediate family is mom and daddy, then mom and daddy has access to something they shouldn't have access to.
Yep.
Yep.
Come on. You know what?
That's good.
That's the perfect segue to the next question. Help us understand what makes a successful marriage.
Ooh, good question.
You want to know my top 3?
Yes.
My top 3. Here we go. Sex, communication, yeah, and honesty. Those are my top 3. And they, yeah, if you want to know if they in that order, that's the order they're in. If you're asking, yeah, that's the order they in. Yeah.
She said it, y'all.
Yeah, I meant it.
Reverend brother, what you got?
Man, I think I have the same 3. I have the same 3, Sister Toddy. It is exactly the
same. When you talk about 2 becoming one flesh, y'all are the epitome. Your face should be in the verse in the Bible where it talks about 2 becoming one.
You're right about it.
But listen, it isn't. I think the part that people think is that you walk down the aisle. Excuse me. You walk down the aisle, you say your vows, and the 2 become one. That is not how it works, and that's the problem. People are in love with the thought of a wedding, but they're not in love with the work of a marriage. So that becomes an issue. So you can't sustain your marriage because you stopped at the wedding.
Ooh, girl, you better stop it.
God, today.
Jesus.
I got a lot of notes.
I'm like, Jesus.
My goodness.
I hope you know I'm taking notes as y'all talking,
too.
right? And I'm going to replay this and take some more notes because I'm asking questions and I'm missing some stuff. But listen, I ain't missing a whole lot though. So you talked about sex being important. So how important is sexual versus non-sexual intimacy in marriage?
For me, they're equally weighty. For me, they're equal. I can't really have the physical touch without the
intimacy.
Correct.
Yeah.
So why are we rolling like that and finish her sentence and be right?
Yeah. I mean, you can't have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich without the peanut butter. They both have to coexist in order for it to even work.
Wow.
Oh
and here's the thing about the peanut butter and jelly. It doesn't matter which more you get of the other. It's all going to balance out.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I should have my husband on here. This is good.
Here's another problem that happens in marriage and why when you talk about sex and that kind of stuff is people fail to adapt. You fail to adapt to your partner's needs. As they age, their needs change. And people fail to adapt. What I need from my husband at 48, I didn't need from him at 24. Okay.
What does that mean?
I have to be open and honest with him. It goes back to those 3 things. I have to be honest with him in my communication about what I need from him. I can expect something from him and not tell him my expectation. I'll forever be disappointed. How is he supposed to know what I want? That's a sad thing in this generation, in this age, especially in marriage. You say, my partner should know me. They should know what I want. You should communicate to your partner what you want. You're the one that wants it. Should they have to figure out what you want and what you need when you can open your mouth and say, this is what I want and this is what I need from you? That way, everybody wins. But in that, you set your marriage up for failure when you fail to communicate your wants and needs honestly. Because
which
your
is
partner.
Point 2.
Go ahead.
No, I said which is point 2. So we talked about the sex, and now we're connecting the communication.
Communication.
Yeah.
Hey man. So with that, go ahead.
No, I was just telling Tiff she can continue. My bad. I wanted to connect the communication piece.
So how important is communication in marriage?
Oh, I think communication, Sister Tali, is right there with the sex piece. It is so important that you communicate on all levels, whether it be expectations, frustrations that you feel, and concerns that you may have. Nothing is off the table when it comes to communicating. What happens is we fail to communicate because we're worried about how the other person within the marriage may receive it. I'm not responsible for how my wife necessarily receives a message. I'm responsible for giving her the message because I need her to understand how I'm feeling, what I'm thinking, whatever it is, what I'm dealing with, or how I feel about her. Oh, I love you. I miss you. I'm thinking about you. All that is
Oh, I love you
important to
too, boo.
communicate. I know you do. All that is important in the communication piece. And what happens is we're communicating, but we're not listening. And because we're not listening, then we don't receive the message that's being conveyed. And that's always the struggle within marriages. Communication is vital. No marriage can be successful if we're not communicating.
You
You
know what? I
cannot.
think that's important. Even when it comes to regular relationships, I think communication is extremely important. And I remember, because not many people understand Tiffany and I's relationship, right? So I remember we were having a conversation, and it was funny because we were actually talking about relationship, and I think you walked by just at the point in the conversation where she was like, I don't like my husband every day. And it's not up to me to like him every day. I love him unconditionally, but I'm pretty sure he don't even like me every day. And I think that was the point where you walked by and you kind of gave like a side eye. But I think because y'all are so connected, you kind of knew where she was going with that. So tell us how important it is to like or dislike your spouse. Like, what? Clarify that a little bit.
Listen, like is important. Like to me is more important than love. Because see, with love, I love you, and sometimes our love is screwed, right? It's misconstrued. I love you for what you do for me. I love you for how you make me feel. So that means when you stop making me feel this way, is our relationship over? When you can no longer physically do this for me, when you can no longer emotionally handle me at whatever we're going through, because we're getting older, is our love going to sustain that? So what we did is we based our marriage on friendship. I like you. I can genuinely spend every moment that I'm not at work with my husband. And for the most part, we do. When we're not at work, we're not apart. And a lot of people don't understand that, but that's my best friend. I like him. I enjoy spending time with him. The things that we know how to have a good time. We can go anywhere and have a good time. We've been to some places and had good times. Nobody else was there. We done been to places and a whole bunch of people was there, and we was still having a good time. So the connection with us comes from that friendship. It comes from us, like you said, having open, honest communication. We have real hard talks. I asked my husband, are you happy? Are you sexually satisfied? Is there anything you need from me? Those are conversations that we have, like real live. We sitting down, I'm asking him these questions out the blue. Those are conversations that we have.
That's cool. So is date night important in marriage?
Absolutely. Talked to a couple the other day. Date night is the one. Let's go back. Even when we first got together, and of course, we had the blended family. We found it important that no matter what, even if it was just for 2 hours, within on a Friday evening, that we needed to get out and have that one-on-one time alone. Date night is important because it allows y'all just to connect on an intimate level. That's without sex, but it allows y'all just to emotionally connect, just spending time, enjoying each other's company. There are no distractions. It's just that one-on-one time. And you have to make that such a priority because at the end of the day, you're getting older, right? Kids are going to move out. You're going to be empty nesters. How are you going to function if you don't get along with each other, if you don't know how to hang out with each other, if you don't know how to have date nights, if you're not friends, if you don't like each other? Now we're in a 30-year marriage, looking at each other from the other end of the room like, why am I still in this marriage? I don't even know why I'm here. I know why I'm here. I'm here because I love you. Not only do I love you, but I like you. I genuinely like you. I want to be in your presence. I want to hang out with you when I'm not at work. And I think she said it. I generally, if I'm not at work, which I am a lot, I just want to be with her.
After all these years, you still want to be with her? Because I met her.
Listen, Toddy, it gets up. Listen to me, Toddy. I planned the year out, starting in May. I purposely plan our trips so that we do have that uninterrupted time together. Like
Wow.
our calendar is planned out for the rest of the year.
Wow.
That is
That's how important it
amazing.
is to me. Yeah.
That is amazing. And y'all, I'm just joking when I said I actually know her. So if he really want to hang out with her, I promise I really am joking. That's inside joke with me and her. It's okay. I really am joking. So let me ask you this. Let's kind of get a little. Well, we've been serious. Listen, y'all done bless my soul. Are finances important when it comes to marriage, and how important is it?
Yes,
Yeah, you.
finances are important.
Y'all laughing.
That's funny.
The problem with finances, people just they don't communicate and talk money. That's the problem. For us, we're always communicating. Like everything else, it's a priority. So you have to talk about it, whether it's good or bad. Whether you mishandled some funds or you didn't, where you're doing uh, well with saving and the other one isn't. Like we know each other's strong suits. So she knows I'm a saver. So that's what I do. But I know she loves to spend, and I'm okay with that. That doesn't bother me. As
Right.
long as I can communicate to her what I need from her, and she's able to give me what I need, or if she can't, then she communicates what she can. That's all I need from her is just to communicate, and then I'll take care of the rest. But when we're not communicating finances, that's that's just as bad as a sex conversation. It can go, it can destroy
You
your
having
marriage.
bad sex? Sorry, that's funny to me.
It's like having a bad
It's
sex
not. I mean,
conversation.
it's not. I mean, it's not saying the bad sex is funny. Sorry, people. I'm not laughing at your sex life.
But it's bad.
Okay.
You got to communicate that.
Let's just stop. Let's not do that anymore. Yeah. Sorry, Toddy. Oh, I want to go back to when we talk about finances. So, as he said, I was gonna throw it out there that I'm a spender and not a saver, but thanks, babe.
I got you.
As he, as he said, that takes me back to the security and me being able to be honest with him, and it takes me back to the submission. Submission is just trust. I trust him that even if I mishandle my funds, if I mishandle my part that I'm supposed to contribute, if I mishandle it and I go to him and say, baby, I mishandled that money, I am so sorry. He might be like, now, why would you do that?
Right.
He may even say, you put us in a situation. He may even say, baby, don't do that again. But at the end of that conversation, he gonna say, I got you. And I'm gonna go about my merry way. I'm gonna feel bad, because now he's talking about we might be in a situation, and I don't really know what that means, because all I'm thinking about is, dang, I can't believe I did that. But because it's never what I'm saying, look what you did this to us. It's never that. It's always, and because he asked so nicely, he's like, please don't do that again. I'm like, okay, but dang, I won't do it again on purpose. But it goes back to that honest communication and me being able to trust him, even with when I make a mistake, that he won't, you know what I'm saying, mishandle me in that time.
And you know what? It's funny that I even brought this question up about finances, because I've heard this like in other places about how finances could really tear up a relationship, and finances could really can tear down a marriage. So, okay, so I personally, I feel like once I get married, I don't want to do it. Right? Does that make sense? Like, I don't want to be responsible for paying bills. I don't want to be responsible for creating a budget. Like, I don't want to do it. Can I live on a budget? Absolutely. Do I mind working? Not at all. I love working. I love what I do. But when it comes to maintaining the house, let me do everything else, as long as whomever my husband is, pay the bills, because I don't. And I feel like I'm a boss in my world. But when I get home, I want to be the dainty little lady. I don't want to be the boss. And I feel like paying bills at home is a boss up responsibility. So I don't want to do it. Help us understand that. Like, is that an issue? Is that a problem? Because I don't think I'm the only woman that feels that way. And then you also have some women that feel like, oh, well, he needs to come home and he needs to give me his check and he needs to give me this and I need to buy this, I need to buy that, I need to pay this, I need to pay that. I don't care.
I would say in the beginning of our marriage, we had some financial struggles because being a single woman, well, not a single woman. I was a single woman. Anyway, whatever. Being a single woman in a relationship where you're the breadwinner, that's the way I say that.
Okay.
Prior to my marriage, there was I was tired. Like, I hear you're tiredness in your voice. Like, I don't want to think about it. I don't have to struggle. Like, who gonna do? You go ahead and tell me what we gonna put together to do what, because I don't want to think about it. But then until I was able to trust him, I couldn't relinquish that control. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to know, well, did you pay this? Did you pay that? If I trust you to pay the bills, do I have to ask you, did you pay this? Did you pay that?
Right.
But now we're in a completely different place 23 years later. We're in a completely different place. So what I needed from my husband come from being a single woman, which at that moment, I felt like I needed somebody to support me. Like, I needed to feel like somebody had me because I was tired. Because he has me at this point in my life, I want him to know that I got him. Girl. As well. Does that make sense? I just want him to be aware that not only because he's carrying me, I might not be able to carry him, but you know what I'm saying? He ain't got to lay on the ground. We can still maintain our lifestyle. So I'm still just as secure as I've always been.
Mm-hmm.
But now I know, you know what I'm saying? He can trust me now. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have to worry like, oh, I blew the money or whatever. We're at a point where I've learned from him that I don't ever want to put us in a situation where he can't depend on me. Does that make sense? But that goes back to him making me feel secure, me being able to trust his decisions and be like, because if he say, oh, you should pay that, I'll be like, because we got some personal bills. Okay, well, I'm going to pay it. I ain't going to be happy. But that for me is, you have to figure out what works for you, because what works in my mom's house when my dad come home, cashing his check, handing it to my mama, my husband ain't doing that. My husband ain't come home, cashing his check, giving it to me, and I'm not giving him mine. And that's just real.
That makes sense. So, what are some important things to know before getting married? And okay, so let me give you a disclaimer before you answer this question. So I want both of you to answer it, but I want you to answer it differently. So, Reverend Brother, I want you to answer this question from a biblical, I'm a believer standpoint. Sis, I want you to answer the question from a non-believer standpoint. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So what are some important things to know before getting married? Bro, you go first.
What are their beliefs?
Ooh. That's good.
I mean, from a believer standpoint, what are they foundational beliefs? Because if when we talk about it, people being equally yoked, but if they're not equally yoked, if I'm a Christian believer and you're a Buddhist, how's that relationship going to work? It's not.
That's good.
You're not. So I think from a believer standpoint, you have to understand and know what that person's beliefs are before you make a decision on marriage. Can't enter that marriage based on those fleshly things, how well that individual looks, the way they smile, the way they look in those jeans. You have to know that we are equally yoked, because at the end of the day, it won't matter.
It will not matter.
It will not matter. So,
oh, you're funny, sir.
That's funny. Okay, sis, what you got?
I'm a non-believer. Ugh. If they got kids, I would definitely figure out that baby daddy, baby mamas. Non-believer. I'm thinking, let me see. Yeah, that baby mama, baby daddy was tough. Credit.
No,
That's good.
Credit is important. You know, family history. Just stuff that you don't think about, that stuff you need to know.
Right.
Family history. Like, I'm sure, my husband done learned some things about my family, like, whoa, like you need to know, especially if you're planning to have children. Is there mental illness? Is there diabetes? Like what runs in your family? A lot of times people don't know. The
Right.
other thing that I would say that you should probably get to know about a person for real, is if that person knows how to communicate with you, if they can articulate their feelings, because a lot of people don't know how to put their emotions and their feelings into words, and it comes out in another way. Do they know how to communicate? Because if we can't talk, what else can we do? If we screaming and hollering, and yeah, who wants to live like that?
Right. Okay. So, Sissy, you got anything before we wrap it up?
No, this is so good.
I know, right? So, really quickly, either one of you can answer. Finally, is marriage important?
go ahead, Tiff.
Yes.
Tell us why.
Biblically, marriage is important because that's how the church is built. Husband, wife, children. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
So God pours into the husband pours into the wife pours into the children. That's the way it's supposed to work. Um, Is marriage important on the natural instinct? Yes, because a father's going to teach a daughter how a man is supposed to love a woman. He's going to teach a son how a man is supposed to love a woman. The mother is going to teach a son how a woman is supposed to love a man. Those balances are very, very important because a lot of times women, I'll speak for myself, go through a process where they are very promiscuous because they are looking for the love of a father. Um, that they didn't get. So for me, for my husband to tell me, I think from the very time I met him, he'd be like, "Oh, you're so beautiful. You're so amazing. You're so smart." That was my love language. And I didn't know that that's what I was missing because I didn't have a dad. So there has to be a balance. So yes, marriage is very important.
Bro, anything?
Um, just one quick statement. I was thinking, I don't know if we was talking about it the other day, and we probably were, Tiff, but I was thinking when, um, thinking somewhere in Genesis where God had just uh, finished creating Adam, and he made the statement, it is not good for man to be alone. And that piece resonated with me because it showed the importance of having a companion, that God knew that that man needed someone else to be by his side as he navigated uh, through life. And you need someone who is your ride or die. No matter what life brings, they're going to be right by your side and they're up for the challenge. And that's what I have. I have a ride or die.
Oh,
My.
Lord,
So
sometimes, yeah, she's my heartbeat, so we're good.
oh,
that is so
oh,
good.
oh, I'm gonna
Listen,
marry you again tomorrow. Get ready, get ready.
I'm front
Um,
row. Listen, that
yeah.
is a perfect place to hang our hat, guys. Thank you so much. I love you both from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for coming to hang out with us. And this is more than likely going to be posted before your big event coming up. So, would you like to share and tell everybody where to find you this upcoming weekend?
This weekend we're at the Savior Pastoral Center on 126th and Parallel. We're hosting a free marriage seminar called The Vows, and we're just going to go through all the vows and encourage the couples how to apply each one of those vows to their life while telling the story of how we lived out every last one of those vows. Yes, even until death do us part. So June 25th, Savior Pastoral Center from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Come and join us. Lunch is on us.
Amen. Thank you again. I love you too from the bottom of my heart.
Oh, we
Yeah,
love you
love
And
you
back.
too.
Y'all, I will put the link in the description underneath. So if you're interested in finding them in Kansas City, Kansas this weekend, you are more than welcome to hop out and visit them and give them some support. And if you have any questions for us, then go ahead. You know where to find us to leave your questions. And you know what? Just keep in mind, this is an open platform to share your heart, to share your feelings, to share how you may feel, to ask any questions. And keep in mind, we are just somebody trying to tell everybody about one body who can save everybody. Thank you. Talk to you later.
Bye.